What is up, YouTube? JankyYGO here. My name is Michael. We have a bunch of new cards to talk about that have been shown via live stream / commercial. So, we're gonna jump right into it. First card is Raider's Knight, which is a rank 4 Dark Warrior XE's effect monster with 2000 attack, 0 defense. Requires 2 level 4 monsters. This card is always treated as a Phantom Knight and Raidraptor card. You can only use one of this card's name's effect per turn. Detach one material special summon from your extra deck, one Phantom Knight, Raidraptor, or Xyz Dragon, Xyz monster that is one rank higher or one rank lower than this card by using this card as material, but destroyed during the end phase of your opponent's next turn. This is treated as an Xyz summon, and its materials are transferred. I'm having like horror flashbacks because of the one rank up that led to like all those broken like shenanigans happening and like locking out your opponent. This isn't quite as bad. I just have PTSD and more flashbacks. It's all right. I don't know. Can't think of any Raidraptor or Phantom Knight cards you would want to go into off the top of my head. This or Xyz Dragon, Xyz monster. So it's interesting. I'll leave it at that. I don't know enough about. I don't know what you'd go into off the top of my head with these. So next up, negogia, AA Zeus, level 12 light machine Xyz effect, 3000 attack, 3000 defense, 2 level 12 monsters. Once per turn, if an Xyz monster battled that turn, you can Xyz summon this by using one Xyz monster you control as material, and its materials are transferred. Quick effect: detach 2 Xyz material from this card, send all other cards on the field to the graveyard. That's a good effect. Once per turn, if another card you control is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can choose one card from your hand, deck, or graveyard and attach it to this card as Xyz material. It's a really powerful effect, and it should for being a rank 12. But what makes this card like good is if you attack, and if you like, let's say you aren't able to OTK, you just come up short with your Xyz and your field, or they play something like Battle Fader for some trolly reason. Then you can just throw this on top of one of your good Xyz, and then you can just detach and like stop them from playing, or well, you don't stop them from playing, but you can out their field when they try to like establish a board to get over this. That's pretty good. Destroying your own cards and stuff like that. There's plenty of decks that can do that pretty well. So this card, you can do that and just get more materials under it, so you can use its first quick effect. And its quick effect isn't a hard once per turn. It isn't a once per turn at all. It's not even a once per chain for its send all cards. So if you have like at least 4 materials under it, which isn't hard to do, you can detach. That's pretty good. Anything, if they try to negate, you can just detach it in response again. So yeah, that's really good. Like I said, it's a rank 12 though, and it's easy. It's kind of easy to make with the first effect right here. So yeah, next up, excited Melffys. Yes, the little cute rank 2 Xyz beast. I covered it on the channel. I'll probably link it in the little eye thing. They are a rank 2 Earth Beast Xyz effect monster, 2000 attack, 500 defense, 2 or more level 2 beast monsters. Its second effect is a hard once per turn. Detach 1 material from this card during this turn. Your monsters can attack, or your Melffy monsters can attack directly. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can target 1 Xyz beast monster you control. Return that Xyz monster to its owner's extra deck, and so summon out 2 beast monsters from your graveyard, up to the number of Xyz materials that had. That's pretty good. It allows, because they kind of like bounce each other, they bounce like themselves and stuff like that, so if you Xyz and all that into them, you can bounce, if they like, and since it's a quick effect, bounce some more. It's a quick effect. If they were to like try to target your beast Xyz monster, including itself, you can just go bloop and summon out 2 of your beasts from your graveyard. Okay, this card wouldn't be like awful in well, it's good for the Melffys deck, but it wouldn't be bad in the baby raccoon deck if, because there are some people that still like that deck, even though it is old and it kind of is out of date, but it can still do things. This card can kind of slot it right into it. And next up, Infernity Wildcat. That's right, Infernities are back, peoples. Level 3 Dark Fiend Tuner effect monster. 1400 attack, 0 defense. You can only special summon 1 of this card's name per turn with its first effect, and only use the second effect once per turn. They're hard once per turns. You can send 1 other Infernity monster from your hand to the graveyard, then special summon this card from your hand. If you have no cards in your hand, you can banish 1 Infernity monster from your graveyard to increase or decrease this card's level by 1. Okay, so for the Synchro Infernity build, I've never really liked it that much, and my reasoning for it is I would always get hands where I just get like a handful of monsters and that would be the end of it. This card kind of like helps remedy that, because it just summons itself out and it gets you empty-handed a lot faster. So for the Synchro build of Infernity, I think this card is pretty decent. Xyz build / link spam build, it's probably not what you want to be doing. That deck usually like can just go and doesn't really care. But I like this card, and it's interesting to see what it will do for the Infernity archetype, if it'll mold it in any way, because it's not a bad card, and it's better than a lot of their other cards that they have. Next up, Fernie Condor. Level 3 Dark Fiend effect monster, 1200 attack, 900 defense. Its second effect is a hard once per turn. If you have no cards in your hand, your opponent's monsters lose 800 attack. If this card is in your graveyard while you have no cards in your hand, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Okay. This Conjurer with Wildcat is actually a really good combination. So is with Necromancer too. It doesn't really matter, because once you have no cards in hand, you can use this and then overlay and throw it back in the graveyard. It's a hard once per turn for the second effect, and with Infernities, you're probably going to be locking them out anyway, but that just completely negates the downside. And with Levy Air, you can always get back your banished stuff and keep going, and that's usually how the Link Spam and the Xyz version like do things, and the Secret one does it too, but it does it a little less. But yeah, I used to like playing Infernities, especially the Xyz build back in the day. I've had a lot of fun with it. I think this card isn't bad. With Wildcat, getting it out of your hand seems like it requires launcher. If you're not playing Wildcat, or a way to just like discard cards, which Infernity doesn't usually like to do. They usually like being able to keep going and going and going with their cards. Next up, Infernity Paranoia, normal spell card. You only activate 1 card with this name per turn. So you 1 dark monster you control, special summon an Infernity monster from your deck, with the same level but a different name, and its effects are negated. During your main phase, if this is in your graveyard, except for the turn it is sent, you can banish this card, target one Infernity monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Its first effect was almost there. Like, if it didn't negate the effects, I think this card would be a lot better. The only thing I can really see using this for is you use your Necromancer to summon out. You use your Necromancer to summon out your Archfiend, and then get the search that way. Play this, tribute the Necromancer, and don't. I'm not saying you search this. I'm saying like you have this. You've already had this. You flip this up after you like get your launcher. Tribute your Necromancer. Get out Conjurer. Then you make plays like that. I don't think this card's very good though for the deck. I don't think. Maybe I'm not thinking big enough. And you guys can tell me in the comment section below what you think of this card, but I don't think it's really good enough for Infernities. They usually are a very fast-paced deck, and they don't really want to be tributing their monsters too much unless they can get more effects out of them. So, yeah, I just don't think that this is where the deck wants to be. Next up, Infernity Hell Archfiend, which that name will probably be changed in the TCG to like Underworld or Dark World Archfiend or something like that. Level 6 Fiend Synchro Effect Monster. 2200 attack, 1600 defense, generic materials, so tuner and one or more non-tuners. Once returned, target one face-up card on the field, negates effects until the end turn, and if you have no cards in hand, you can destroy it. If this card battles an opponent's monster, any bandle damage that this card inflicts to your opponent is doubled while you have no cards in your hand. A Dark Synchro monster summoned using this card as synchro material can make up to 2 attacks during each battle phase. Okay, that's not that bad. But once again, usually with the synchro, and even with the synchro build of Infernities, their thing is that they want to be able to completely lock your opponent out of the game with a bunch of negates. So, and this doesn't really do that. If the first effect was a quick effect, you could probably make an argument for it. But instead, what this seems like it's doing is it's like you use this as a synchro ladder, which the deck doesn't really do anyway. But it's there for the new cards, and I kind of get it. Its dub name is okay. Its attack is dubbed as Infernity Hell Pressure. Nice. Anyway, I don't think this card is good enough either, because this isn't a quick effect, and if it was, it would be a lot better. Infernities usually end up with like a bunch of negates too, with Infernity Barrier and their Infernity Break with their pop cards. And this would add another one on top of it, so then it would be good. But I think that, you know, if it was a quick effect, I think this card would be a slam dunk, and people would be like, yes, we're switching to the synchro build, and the link spam, or the synchro build, and that's it. But I think this card isn't quite good enough. It's almost there. It was almost there to be good enough, and if you disagree with me, you can, be like, no, this is why it's good in the comments. Anyway, last but not least is Infernity Suppression. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. If you have no cards in your hand, you can activate this card the turn it is set. When your opponent activates a monster effect while you control an Infernity monster, negate that effect, and if you do, inflict inflict damage to your opponent equal to 100 times its level. See, this card is a little bit better, and because it's another negate. I think Infernity Break is a little bit better though, and usually Infernities end up with like And well, whenever I played Infernity, it would be like an Xyz negate, an Infernity Archfiend in attack mode, and then like like one or two barriers, and then like one or two breaks, and I liked having the one slot in case I didn't, and just in case. And I think that this card is fine for that fifth slot. Uh, if your opponent doesn't do anything, you can usually just OTK him on like the next turn, so you just attack. But I think this is. But I usually don't like setting all five back row, like setting five back row. I usually like having one open just in case if something bad happens. This card's good though. I think it's like the best Infernity card that they've shown today, and which kind of says a lot. It's not a. It's just not. It's not bad. It's not. I also don't think it's good enough either. It's really weird that like I feel like just Infernity has so many tools that it doesn't really uh isn't really like good enough, you know, and because I don't know. I'm rambling on at this point. Anyway, if it's your birthday today, happy birthday. If you want to send us any cool deck profiles or replays, our email's in the description. And as always, have a wonderful day.